Hey guys, so I'm back with part 2 of this .NET MAUI series. So in this series we are creating an app using .NET MAUI step by step from scratch. So for the part 1 I will add the link of part 1 into the pinned comment. So in the first part of this video we managed to get started with this app. We have this colored title of the app, then we have this flyout menu, then we have all these categories. This is a horizontal scrollable collection view, so we have all these category images and then category name. So we are going to continue from here. Okay, so without wasting any time, let's get started. So let me pull this also. So first we are just trying to design the categories. So you see, now the next thing we need to do, we need to shape our image using these rounded corners, and then we need to style our category names. So first let's, so we had this collection view, we had this item template. So this item template actually is a template for single item. So in order to have those rounded corners, what I am going to do, I am going to use the border component from .NET MAUI. So we can have this border. So we are going to set the stroke shape. So using border, we can add borders, or we can say we can have a bordered box, and we can design those borders. We can have different type of shapes. We can have the thickness of the border. We can have the color of the border. Even we can have a background of that border. So its name is border, but it is actually kind of a bordered box. So we have this stroke, then we have this stroke color, stroke thickness, we have a stroke shape, and we have a bunch of other properties also. So you can play around with these properties. So mostly we are going to use these three only. So that using this stroke, we can set the color. So for example, let's take red color, then stroke thickness, let's take 5, and then stroke shape. So for our case we are going to add a rounded rectangle, and when we say rounded rectangle we need to set the sides or say corners of the rectangle. So we are going to have, it starts from left top corner. So if we set only single value, it is going to apply on all four of the corners. And if we want to specify, so for our case we need to set this for top left and top right, these two corners only. So we'll start from 10, 10, 0 and 0. So you see, it is actually taking this shape. So I'm going to remove this stroke color because we don't need this. So I'm going to remove this. Then for stroke shape, sorry, stroke thickness, even we don't need this because we just want to design, or we just want to give the rectangle, sorry, the rounded corner shape. So this is what we need. We can try to increase these numbers, maybe 15 and 15. Yeah, better. Now let me clear this. Yeah. So we have this shape. Now we need to style this category name. So what we are going to try. First thing we are going to add some padding. Let's say 10. Okay. Then we are going to add some font size. Let's say 14. No, 18 or maybe 16. Yep. And then font attributes, bold. Yes. Yeah, looks better. But this, when we come here, this science and technology, words and language, these two are kind of distorting the layout. So we need to have all of these categories the same height and same width. So we are going to do that. So as we know, we have this height and width of 160 and 150 for image. We are going to use the same for our border. We can copy these and then the same thing is going to be applied for this label. Or maybe let me try to decrease the font. Let me make it 15. Okay, let me try to rerun it. Maybe it's not running. So sometimes it takes time to load. It's loaded. Yep. Now we just need to set these on the main container as well. Uh, we have this. Now the thing is our main grid is of height 160. We have image of height 160. Then that is why we cannot see our category name. So we need to increase the height of this grid, maybe 200. No, maybe percent languages. This is cutting out. Maybe we can reduce the padding a bit. 5 and maybe 14 the font color or font size. Okay, we can design it differently also, but I am taking reference of my first Maui app, so I'm going to use this only. So you can see this, it was similar to this one, and I think I had some shadow here. Okay, so maybe let's increase this gap a bit more. So we had this margin of 5 and 5, maybe let's increase it to 8 and 8. Okay, fine. So I think we are good to with categories. Now let's try to design this fact of the day section, this one. So how I design it, how I want to design it, so it is going to have two rows, one for this background and this text, and the second row for this fact of the day, this kind of heading of this section basically. So two rows. So let's start. So I had this in this vertical stack layout. I'm going to remove this fact of the day and let me add a grid again, and I'm going to have two rows. So first one would be whatever height I can get, and the second would be as per the item's height. Then the first item, let me have it, I want to have it as a as this box. So we can try maybe border, or maybe frame, or maybe box view. So we have a couple of options. So let me try with maybe border only, and I'm going to set this as grid dot row. This is going to be first row, and then the second row, that I'm going to have a frame for that. Grid dot row, sorry, the first one would be grid 0 and the second one would be grid 1. In this I'm going to have that label which says fact of the day, and the border, it is going to have first let me set background, maybe primary color. Then we can set the minimum height request, so maybe let's say 150 minimum. It is going to have this height minimum, and it can expand as per its content. Border, and then we can have that label for the text. So for now, let me have some dummy text. This is a sample text for fact of the day for today. And we need to set the color of this text color, let's say white. And yep, so we can see this. Now we need to design it, maybe let's set as padding 15, font size let's set some 18, or maybe more than that, 20. Okay, and then we can say the text alignment, vertical text alignment center, and horizontal text line alignment is also center. If the fact is very small, we are going to align it to the center of the screen horizontally also. So horizontal text alignment is also center. Okay, fine. Now for border, we just took border as a reference to create this boxed view. So we are not going to have border of this border view. So we are going to set stroke thickness to 0. So you see, when we were not having this, we were seeing this small border, but now we are not going to use this. So we are going to set stroke thickness to 0, so it got removed. Now we have this text. Now we are going to align this fact of the day frame. So for this one, frame, so frame comes with some built-in styles. We can override those styles here, or if you want to use frame in different way, or you want to remove those predefined styles, you can go to resources, styles, and in styles you can see there should be a style tag for frame. So this frame, so it has corner radius, it has border color, it has shadow to set false. So yeah, these styles are getting set from this file, and frame comes with some default styles as well. So we are going to override this. First thing, we are going to set padding to 0. Next, we are going to set the margin to 0. Okay, now because we have the first row of this grid with single column with this complete width, so the second row is also going to have the same width. So what we can do, in order to align it to the center, what we can try adding the columns for this grid. So let's say we are going to have three columns: star, auto and star. So we are going to have the second column with whatever width the content need, we are going to set it as that width, and the star means it is going to take whatever space is remaining. So for first row, this text row, we need all three columns. So what we can do, we can say grid dot column span 3. So it is going to span across these three columns. And now we comes here the frame. So what we can say, grid 1, and let's move it to column 1. So column 0 would be here somewhere, then column 1, then column 2. So from three columns we are setting our fact of the day heading to the middle column, the center column. Okay, so now maybe we can have these paddings a little bit different, maybe 10 and 5, and then background color of this frame, we again going to use the same primary color, static resource primary. Okay, and for text we are going to set the color of this text white. Okay, now next thing, let's increase the font size, font attributes to bold, font size to, let's say, 14. It is the default look like 15 or maybe 16. Okay, let's try to increase this padding 15, or maybe this one is 15 and this one is 10. Yep. Now on frame we have corner radius, so we can increase this also. Let's check what we have in our design. Yeah, we have more. So maybe corner radius, let's take it 20. Fine. And the padding, it has maybe 20 and 15 vertically. Yep. And corner radius again. Okay. Then maybe we can increase this size also. So it's 18 now. Fact of the day 17. Now let's try to move it upward. So what we can do, we can simply say for this frame, we can say the margin starts from left 0, then top minus 15, or maybe it has padding of 20, so, and then text height 20 and 20. Let's try to move it a bit further. Fine. And from this grid. Let's add a margin left 0, top 0, right 0, and bottom let's say 15 or maybe 15, 30. Okay. Fact of the day, we have it here. Okay, we are going to fine tune it again, but first let's try to speed up. Next thing is we have this category. So you see this gradient. So we are going to add this gradient for now. When we are going to add the actual text, then we are going to add this gradient, and we are going to again try to sync up both the UIs. So next thing we have this categories heading. So let's go to this vertical layout again. Then we are going to have this categories text, and the text color of this, it is going to be static resources. Let's use secondary color. And the font size, it is going to have maybe 30, 25, and then we are going to have a margin of 5 from left and right, and maybe 15 from top and bottom. And then we are going to set it as bold. Yeah. Categories, now we have all these categories. Then the next thing is we have these random facts. So again it is going to use the same design. We are going to call it random facts. Random facts. Now we are going to add another list which is going to have these random facts. So before going there, let's try to add data for these, the dynamic data, the actual data. So for this, let me stop it. So we had these models, we have category model, we have these categories, then we have this fact model. So from this fact model, and we have added view models, right? We have main view model. Fine. So first thing, let me add another folder, maybe data, and I'm going to add this, let's say data, public static seed data. I'm going to add the facts here. So let's have a static method, public static uh, enumerable of fact model and load facts. So I already have this facts list. Let me get it from off screen. I need to find it. So I have this facts data. Let me change it to fact model. Next thing we have, let me add a constructor. ID, yes, I have ID. Then title, URL, main text, and then category name. ID, category name, category image. We are not using title here. So let me add a constructor. with all these. First one is ID, title, URL. So maybe the third parameter we are going to discard it. Then fact and then category. Name. Fact and category name. We have this facts collection. Now we are going to return from it. So maybe let me add a property here. Public static enumerable of fact model. Let's say underscore facts. Then we are going to have actual property enumerable fact model of facts, and this is going to be a computed property. We will say facts, or if it is null. So this is the first time. So we are going to set it to the load facts. Will be static. Yep. Yeah, it should be private. Okay, so let me clean it up, and now we have this seed data. We can, or maybe we should call it not seed data, maybe just data, or maybe facts data, that we can access facts data dot facts. We are going to access these facts. Okay, now next thing is we need a fact of the day for that particular day. So maybe let me add a couple of helper methods here, and I will say public static fact model, and let's say get fact of the day, and I'm going to have a date. So before accessing the devices feature, let's try to return a random fact each time, right? Okay, so next we are going to use, when we are going to use devices features, so share preference device storage, then we are going to use the actual scenario. We are going to get the fact, random fact, then we are going to save it into the devices storage with that particular date, and for all subsequent requests for that particular day we are going to fetch this fact of the day from the device storage only. And for the next day when the first request comes there, it will not find the fact of the day for that date into the device storage. Then it is again going to call this method and it will return a new random fact, and we are going to save that random fact into the device for the next day. So this is how it is going to work. So for now let's just return a random fact from here. So we can say return facts dot order by maybe GUID dot new GUID, then first dot default, remove first only, and we are good. Get fact of the day, we are going to get one random fact from here. So let's go back to our view model. In main view model, so we have this fact of the day. So we are going to get this fact of the day from that service, from that seed data. So we can say fact of the day equals seed data, or we, let me rename it altogether, facts data. Okay, so we are going to say facts data dot get fact of the day. Now this fact of the day, it has the random fact. So now if we go to main page, we are already accessing this view model. So in this view model we are going to have this. So instead of the sample text we are going to bind this. So it will be binding, then we have fact of the day, and we are binding it to fact of the day's fact property. So now it will have that random fact. So whenever we are going to launch it, and let me run it again. Till the time it is running, let's go to facts data again, and now fill the last part, that random facts list, right? So we can say I enumerable of fact model, and we are going to have get random facts. So we can use the same thing, facts dot order by, and then we can, let's say, take and maybe 10 random facts. Or if we want to make it dynamic to be used at some other places also, so we can simply have a parameter from here, let's say count with default value 10, and we can use this count. This is also going to work. So we have this get random facts, and let's go back to main view model and let's fill this out. So random facts is going to take facts data dot get random facts. So we have all this data. You can kill yourself by holding your breath. Yeah, this is uh, the actual fact. It looks different, right? Maybe let me add this gradient. So I haven't used gradient that much, but let's try if we could use this. Can we have some, let's say, border dot something like gradient. Maybe I need to check how we can add gradient to borders. I'm not sure at this time, but we can definitely. It looks longer in the fact of the day, fact of the day. Longer, bolder, and a bigger. Okay, maybe let's try this. So fact of the day, this one maybe 18. It is fact of the day got cut from here, so maybe we need to increase the width of this width request, maybe 200. This text horizontally it should be aligned to center, right? And we have more width, and that padding is less, so maybe 200. Let's make it to 300, or maybe 280, or let's take it 250 only. Like it had some border, right? So maybe border color we can say transparent, so it would be without border, but it should be with border, right? It says border, no, we need shadow. So it has a shadow. we need to define shadow. Okay, we can try that also, but for now, fact of the day, maybe we need to increase the corner radius, or it looks okay. For now, let's remove this and let's check. Okay, so maybe for now let's set border color also as static resource and primary color only, or maybe secondary color. In any case, we need to come back to it. Okay, so we have categories, we have all these, we have this random facts heading. Now the next point is to add the list here with the random facts. Okay, so let's come here in this vertical layout. The next part we are going to have collection view and item source we are going to get it from again from binding. It will be random facts, and now we are going to set the item template. Then it would be a data template with type of fact fact model. Now if we check here what we have in our reference, this is simply a frame with the text. So let's add frame without maybe corner radius with 0, and then we are going to have this label with text. And now this text, now when we are inside the data template, then it would be the this random fact is a collection, and this data template, it is going to use collections item one by one. So the random facts is of type fact model. So when we say binding, it is actually going to bind each item from this random facts collection. So each item would be of type fact model, so we can access the fact model here. So we can add it to fact. It is not picking up because we added random fact after we started it. So let's restart it. Yeah, we have these. Now let's try to design it a bit. So from left and right we need some spacing, so maybe we can say margin. On this frame we are going to get, let's say, 5 from left right. What we have here, so it has from left and from top bottom it is more. Let's have 10 from left side and 20 from top bottom, or maybe 15, and this can be 10 only, or maybe let's have it 8, and this may be 12. Okay, but it is showing 3 items only, 1 2 3, but we have 10 items in our random facts, 10, so it should show 10. So the problem is we are not able to scroll it after this, because our main container for this page, this is vertical stack layout, so it is not scrollable by default. So what we need to do, we need to wrap this vertical stack layout into a scroll view. Part of one scroll view, and now we can scroll it. Okay, now let's try to change the font size, maybe to 14 only. I always use 14 and 14 never works. It is the default. Font size 15. Side padding, this is fine. This is also fine. And let me see what else we have here. We have categories, we have random facts, we have these categories, we have all this. Okay, so for now we need to use this gradient. So let me check off screen what we can do for gradient. Okay, so we can use, I am copying it from off screen. So I had used frame for that, so maybe it should work for border also. I'm not sure. Let's try if it works. We need to remove this border from here, and yes, it worked. So we have this border background. We are going to assign a couple of things for this. So we can have background of type linear gradient. We are using this primary and secondary colors for this gradient. So it will start from the primary color, it will go to the secondary color. So now it makes sense that we can get rid of the border color of this second. And what if we add border color transparent now? Yes, it looks nice now. Okay, so it is looking good. What next we can try? Maybe let's add click handlers for these. So for these categories, we have this collection view, we have this grid, and each grid represents one category. So for now, let's add a gesture recognizer, and let's add a tap gesture recognizer, and it has couple of things. One is number of tap requires, so maybe we need to trigger it on when we single tap on it, maybe we want to trigger it when we double tap on it, three taps on it. So for now we need one tap, that is the default behavior, so we can remove this. And the second one is we can add, we are going to use mvvm for this, so we are going to use command, but for now just for testing I'm adding this event. So this tabbed event, and we can simply alert it. So await for nothing, and we are simply showing one alert here. So we can show alert using shell.current.display alert method. It has title, message, and cancel button. So title may be hi, hello, this is tabbed from the category, and then this is the cancel button, so we can have OK for now. So because the changes in C sharp, we need to rebuild it. So you see, we can click on these categories and it is going to display this alert. Okay, so I think that's all for today. In the next part, what we are going to do, we are simply going to work on the second screen, which will going to have the category details, fact detail page. So there will be one more screen which is going to list down all the facts for that particular category. So when I'm going to click on this animal, there will be one screen with this animal as a title and then all the animal facts as a collection. Same for all the category. So we are going to work on that screen at the last, but before that we are going to work on the exciting screen, that is the screen number 3, that fact detail screen. So where we are going to see this thing, to design it, it will be have this toolbar item, it will be have this nice box with these rounded corners, then it is going to have this category image attached to the middle center of this box, so it looks like a flag. Then we have this text of the fact, then we have this nice device features, text to speech, copy to clipboard, sharing, next and previous facts. So all these things we are going to work on this on the next video. So please subscribe this channel for this next video. Yep. So here's the agenda. In next video we are going to work on this fact detail, which we are going to get when we are going to click on any fact, it is going to open this screen. Then we are going to have all these features. Then after that we are going to work on this this category facts view, and after that we are going to work on these items. So we are going to design these flyout items, we are going to add the icons, we are going to add other menus, we are going to add a header here with colored header, and maybe we can add some footer also if we want. So all these things in upcoming videos. So yep, subscribe this channel to stay tuned. Thank you, and please don't forget to like this video. If you like this, please like, share and comment on this video. What part did you like the most, or what part you did not like, or if you want to improve anything in this, maybe you want to increase my speed, or maybe you want to focus on some of the items, so you can let me know in the comments down. Yep. Okay, bye. See you in the next video with part 3.